Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm with thetinylife.com and I wanted to talk to you about the tools I use to build my tiny house. The funny thing is with building a tiny house yourself is that after you're done, you just built yourself a house that you don't have a lot of room to put all the tools in. So I have these little job site boxes on the outside. All right, so I wanted to talk about some of the tools I use. Like I said, I keep my tools in these little job site boxes outside my tiny house now that I'm done with it. And this is kind of a different setup than I actually had when I was building. So I don't have all the tools here, but most of the big ones. When I was building, I pretty much just used 5-gallon buckets as my toolbox. And actually, it kind of worked. Later on, after my build, I got these Keter boxes, which I like, but I thought I'd just go through some of these for you. So first thing is, like, good set of gloves. I like these mechanics gloves because they kind of hug your hand and they're not too bulky, but yeah, so the mechanics gloves. A speed square, good for taking your marks across boards for cutting, making quick straight lines, using it as a guide for a circular saw. And then of course, when you're doing your roof, all the angles here, that was very helpful. Has a little, measure along the side too. So very useful. I had 2 of these pretty much laying around at all times. Hammer. Just need one. Combination square. I really like these, especially for like getting depths of different things, especially if I need to set a specific height on like my saw blade on a table saw or my router bit. That's helpful. Just different laying out marks and things like that. So combination square. Of course, tape measure. I probably had about 5 of these just kicking around at all times. Box cutter, enough said. Then a bunch of pliers, like your standard like channel locks, and of course my favorite vice grips. I had those in 2 sizes. Wire cutters, and some electrician pliers for stripping and twisting wires. Then screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips head, and then I had these retracted bits with regular screwdrivers. This one's a hex bit in there. A little hex key folder for different things. Various size wood chisels. Okay. A pry bar, pretty simple when you make mistakes. And you don't need this, but I had this. It's a scribe tool so that you can copy contours along an uneven surface onto a piece of wood, and then it creates a line so you can follow that and cut it so it matches the side. So that's the bulk of the hand tools. In the top here, kept like thread tape, a little pencil sharpener, some extra fasteners, wire nuts, earplugs always, kept those for like if someone's helping me out or I lost my pair. Some lesser used tools like a hammer stapler, a staple gun, a ratchet tool. This is a PEX cutting tool for your plumbing. Mallet, another combination square, coping saw, things like that. So that's mainly the hand tools that I use. There's some more, but that's basically it. Now I want to talk about pneumatic tools. So not shown is my framing nailer, and of course the compressor and the hoses and all that. But I had I think this is a 16 gauge brad nailer, 18 gauge finish nailer. If you haven't seen these before, these things are amazing. it's a palm nailer. So basically, you hook up to the hose there, and then you drop a single nail in there, and it has that thing there that basically actuates back and forth really fast. So you just drive nails in really easily. So when I couldn't use something in a nail gun, and I had loose things, I could use this to save my arm. That was really nice. Another thing here is and I've never really seen anyone else use one of these. It's a pneumatic, like a caulking gun. So I did this, so you can see on the outside, it's all liquid nail. When I was gluing all of my sheathing, I would put a bead of glue of that liquid nail on my studs, and then put my sheathing on, screw and glue, and this just saved my hand and made things go a lot faster. So yeah, pneumatic caulking gun was great. Oh, I missed this. Level. You need a level. I had this one and a 6-foot one. That's super important. So hand tools, pneumatic tools. Then over here is the power tools. So I would say the two most important things in your arsenal, it's going to be your compound miter saw and your impact driver right there. I got this for 60 bucks on a Black Friday sale, and it's no great shakes, but you know what? It built that house. So, you don't need super expensive fancy tools to do this. If you're gonna spend money, I would spend it here and on your drill and impact driver. So, if you don't know, impact drivers, they have a lot more torque than like a regular drill right here. Drills are good for putting, like actually using a drill bit and putting a hole in wood if you need to pre-drill something. This, if you're not doing finish carpentry, this can just drive the screw right in without having to pre-drill. And then having two of them means that you could have this one be a driver and that one be, drilling for your holes. And you don't have to switch bits. It's just that much faster. And they, you can have these different bits that you swap in and out. So I would use, the let's see, the Phillips head here a lot. And then later on, I found like kind of my perfect screw, and it used these star bits. And I'll actually show you that here. I got a couple. So this is my favorite screw. It has a star bit, so it doesn't strip out as much. It's coated, so it can be put in treated lumber without any interactions worried. It's an exterior screw, and then it has this little drill bit tip built into it. So it just made it that much easier to drive in. I love the screw, and it uses that star bit, so I ended up having these, this, and that came in the box with it actually, I think. So something good to have. Other bits here, just a box of regular drill bits. I think this cost me like 15-20 bucks for this whole little box here. This one is just like all of my driver bits, like a magnetizer. This can do like small nuts and things like that, and a whole bunch of different sizes here. What's nice about this is if you buy the DeWalt one, it's totally worth it because they fit perfectly in there and close. And so you can fit your 2 drills, 2 batteries, and your 2 cases, no problem, all in one box. Now, in addition to those there, I also had spade bits in different sizes. I had this, which is a step bit for metal. So if I need a certain size hole in metal, I could do that. Hated cutting into metal, but when I had to, this was helpful. For doing, running my wires through the studs, roughing it out, This is like, I use this, I could just have a lot more space to like get into the stud. And then if I had to cut a bigger hole, I'd use things like this, like a hole saw, instead of these. Once you get past about an inch, inch and a half, it starts to get kind of cumbersome, and these just make a lot nicer holes. So talked about that, talked about the saw, saber saw or jigsaw for curve cuts. That came in handy. Later on, I got this. This is actually a battery powered nail gun. Can only do small brads, like 16 or 18 gauge, but actually really convenient when you didn't want to like set up everything. Palm sander. These things are, yeah, you'll just use them a ton for all your finish work. And then in here I had a my router. So, you know, that was for like nice trim pieces or routing out different things that I need to do. And then it has like, you know, your plunge cut base and all that kind of stuff. So that's the bulk of the tools that I use to build my little tiny house back here. I built it myself over 1.5 years, and I'm not a professional at all, or at least not a professional builder. And I was able to learn my way through all this process and whatnot using these tools. If you haven't already, check out the post that's associated with this video. If you're already on the page, you know where to go. If you're on YouTube, check the description for a link to the full post. It has a whole bunch of more tools, and also I make recommendations on what you should consider and what to buy and where to save your money and things like that. So hope that was helpful. My name is Ryan Mitchell. I'm with thetinylife.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.